Welcome back to our next episode of the Doggone Truth About Rescue with Always and Forever. We literally just found out it is our 20th episode that we are publishing, and so it's going to be a fun, probably unhinged episode. We're also live on Facebook, and we have our famous, most routine guest in the house, Jennifer Dulski, along with Miranda. You need a better introduction than that. Introduce Miranda.
I will. She's one of our. She's one of our. I think honestly, probably our first round of volunteers. So from 2018, she showed up when we had absolutely no idea what we were doing, and I love that we kind of learned and grew and evolved together. So she's watched us go from 19 dogs of chaos and madness, of free-for-all, and learning dog behavior, and watching the evolution of how the movement and the love of the little red barn has grown. And that was one of the questions I was literally going to ask you when you popped this up. I think you just shared some statistics that we're in 6 different continents. We've had 7,000 downloads, and we've got a whole audience of people across the world listening. Would you ever have imagined that what we started with would be where we are today?
No.
Excellent response. So, whereas I can go on very long-winded questions or answers, apparently I need to do better on open-ended questions.
Yeah,
so I will leave.
No, and I just joined Always and Forever because I wanted to adopt another dog. And I knew if I could get my husband through the door of a shelter, then I would get that. And so I did, and then I did again, and then I did again, and I think we're capped out at 5 dogs now. But no, our family's evolved as Always and Forever has evolved too, and our whole lifestyle revolves around Always and Forever now, and we've grown with Always and Forever.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about the roles that you've had and then what you currently are doing with Always and Forever?
Yeah, so when I first reached out, it was my birthday, and I just wanted to come see some dogs. And so I did what a lot of people still do to this day, is they reach out and they just want to swing by and see dogs, which is not really how we operate because we have such a unique setup in our little red barn and even our little gray barn in Osawatomie. We're all set up very special. So I was told to come to an orientation, and I did, and that same day I was told that they needed people to come in and start feeding the dogs dinner because we didn't have anyone to regularly do that.
So bad.
If you wanted a dog, you're going to feed these ones first.
Okay, no, it's like literally just throw anyone into the deep end and say go. And she did, and she stayed through all the madness. I will never forget the one night in the rain, and I swear to God, you were just crying, and it was just awful. And because we've all had those moments of like breakdown because it's overwhelming and it's so much work. And I actually remember whenever I would see a car pull up in the barn, I would cry because it meant that I didn't have to go over there and do it because we were so small at the beginning, and you had to literally, it was like me and Miranda and Vicky and Stephanie and so many, and Judy and Jane. Jane and I have worn every single hat in this rescue, and it's people. I shared this on How to Start Your Rescue series. There's no plan B. This is it. You're going all in, and you find the people that you will cry out in the rain with and tough it out. And that's actually when we shifted, I think, and started hiring people because we realized the level of commitment and involvement and the work that comes with that. So we are blessed, and thank you for riding this incredible, truly incredible journey with us.
Let's talk about the journey. There's some big news coming up this Saturday, correct?
Well, this Friday we close on purchasing the pound from the city of Osawatomie. And for anyone that has rode this path with us, what a beautiful process it has been to work with a city that, we all we know Miami County kind of gave us the boot and said they don't want us to put a kennel on our own 40 acres through our CUP, and Osawatomie welcomed us in and said, we trust you. We're going to trust you with our animals, and such an amazing relationship, because everything is relationships, right? That is really what it is, and what you put out comes back to you. I know I'm a broken record when I say that, but the city has welcomed us, and if it wasn't for them, we could not have saved all the animals that have come in there. So Friday we close on the pound. We are going to have, Saturday is Pupsgiving, and then Sunday we're doing yoga at the pound. And it's no longer going to be the pound. It's going to be Always and Forever Osawatomie Shelter. And it only took me 4.5 years to learn how to say Osawatomie properly. It is not Osawatomie.
You had us saying it wrong on this podcast for the whole first season until we brought them in and they stared at us and they're like, what did you say? We're like, Osawatomie. And they're like, no, it's not.
So I never knew what to say. So I would say Oz because it's the land of Oz. So you just say, you know what? That's like when you don't know someone's name. And so you avoid saying their name over and over and it's just, hey, you. But it's past the point of saying, what is your name, even though we're friends.
98% of the people in your life.
Was you?
As volunteer coordinator, it's my job to know everyone's names, and I don't. I try my best, you guys.
Okay, but we know their dogs. We know they're like Aggie's mom or something like that.
Yes,
so.
Poor Annette. She's a wonderful foster, and every time she walks up, I'm like, Jeff, it's so great to see you. And they're like, oh, and Annette too. Yes.
I want to know more about what's going to happen to Always and Forever Osawatomie Shelter now.
Yeah, so what we were planning to do on our homestead is to build a big red barn and to have a shelter there. And that dream is still there. You know, we've invested in that dream. It doesn't matter that we weren't approved the first time. Anything worth doing is going to take a fight. Anything that comes easy. But we're going to put a beautiful big red barn out there, and it's going to be set up with suites and cuddle rooms. And we're going to kick our capital campaign off starting next week. And so Monday, every single day, starting next week, I'm going to go out there. We're going to have volunteers out there. We're going to do good morning videos, good night videos, and show people why it is so incredibly important to invest in a new shelter for these animals, that while they're surrounded by love, like, they deserve a better physical environment, because you can put so much love and energy in there, but it's been too long. It's time for a refresh. It's time for a new beginning.
So many questions. First one, so do you have to tear down the current location to put up the new location, and where are the animals going to go in the meantime?
A phenomenal question. No, because where are we going to put these dogs and cats? So we had to replace the kennels. So it cost us about $56,000, something like that, to put in new kennels. These kennels were rusted. They were dangerous for the animals, dangerous for people. And so we had to invest in that. So there's going to be a period of 2-3 days where we will have animals displaced. But what we're going to do too is we're going to epoxy the floor. We're going to drywall the sides, and we're going to make this as nice of a possible little shelter until we can get our new building up, so that we always have a place for our animals. So we will be looking for temporary fosters the couple days in December. I think the second week of December, something like that.
And then for building the new one, is it the same process of what you just had to go through with the hearings and approvals and everything else?
No. Thank God, because there is already a kennel there. So we don't need to go through the conditional use process. I will share an ancillary story on our conditional use permit. And I know some people will say, and you asked this question before, how do you justify donors' money going into all the expenses that were put in the CUP? Well, number one, I will say, primarily, it was mine too. So I don't ask people to put in anything that I'm not willing to do. And so it was self-funded on a significant portion of what I put into that. Did we come away with the outcome we wanted? Hell no, we didn't. I wanted it approved. I wanted $20 million, somebody to see that, and I wanted 8 barns up, and to fill it with a puppy barn and a senior barn and a cat barn and the little barn for Miranda to run so she doesn't get divorced and take 1 million dogs home. And you know, you want these things, and I want Judy to stop driving everywhere, and Sarah too, and I want golf carts going around it. And you know, one of our lovely little neighbors called it Dog Disneyland Monstrosity. But you know what? To some people's dream or other people's nightmare, and it's finding a balance and finding what works for the community. And every single penny that was invested into going to this conditional use permit was part of our journey. And the ancillary story of this is that one of our very good rescue partner friends, Regina, she runs Regina's Rescue, she was going through a very similar CUP process where she was fighting a disgruntled neighbor who kept calling the state and kept reporting her. And she had gone to 3 conditional use permit hearings, and she was at her final one, and she just said, hey, who can come to support? And I happened to go with a friend. And so Beth and I were sitting there, and I said, you know what, let's go live, and let's, we did it live on volunteers so that people could see, because you want that support. You want to help people who are doing good. And I think they started the hearing, and it was going south. We felt the vibe of the staff, and there was this opposition there. There was an attorney there speaking against her, and they asked Regina, "Do you have an attorney here?" And she said, "No, I didn't need one." And I literally just raised my hand and walked up. I said, "Regina, I'll be your attorney if you want." And so, okay, number 1, I am in sweats.
That's also not the law that you do, Jen, is it?
Okay, no. This is not the law that I do. No. Number 2, I don't like speaking in public, really, even though I speak nonstop about this. But number 3, I stood in front of a planning committee. I argued and articulated, and I understood the golden criteria and the basis of a case to present that you have the right to have a kennel if it's through a conditional use permit. So I looked like a bum. I literally looked like a bum. It was late at night. I was so tired, and I went there, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And so I just walked up there, and I didn't know anything about her background of it, but I knew what the law permitted, and I knew what it was, and I knew what a good rescue she was, and her heart, and the things that she has done to save so many animals. And without her, the Lynn County animals would have literally no one. The good that she does, somebody has to fight for the underdog in that, and not a man who has tons of money and hires an attorney who speaks up there and says very false things that aren't backed by anything. So I stood up there, and
like, how many pounds of poop dogs do a day?
Okay, so the poop stuff.
I'm sorry, I just had to say.
I will say the poop stuff came up, but in different context. So if that's it, I go, okay. We were strategizing there, and the funny part is I spoke, and then we went and sat back down, and then this very kind of angry looking woman stood up and spoke, and the person sitting next to Regina went to the restroom, and I just walked up and stole his seat so that we could strategize. And I was like, I'm just going to steal his seat. Didn't even ask. This is very much not like me. So we were strategizing, and then we went and we did a rebuttal, and she won, and she got her conditional use permit approved. And because of that, because of our journey, I never could have stood up there with her, for her, and advocated for her. So regardless of if we lost, we helped someone else win, and that's a win for the animals. It's a win for the community. And I spoke on behalf of a beautiful person and a friend that needed someone to speak up, and I couldn't be more proud of her. And if that's what it meant for us to lose, every single penny of that was so worth it, because those animals have somewhere to be right now. And her dream to have one barn, her animals can come inside now. Her animals were outside before. She had shelter, so they're building their barn. And when your dream influences, inspires, and somehow helps someone else's dream, I mean, what a beautiful process. And you have to trust that our time will come.
I didn't know that story before. When did this happen?
This happened like the week after we lost ours. So it was such a good high, and life has such beautiful blessings all across the way. And when we hit our lowest of lows, we can talk about which it's a horrendous situation there. But there are blessings, and there are moments of just sheer gratitude and joy to be able to do what we do, even if it's not at the level that we want to, even when we endure the heartache. You have to take that step back and say, we are all part of a bigger picture. There's a bigger plan. The fact that we have like 40 different states and countries all at once, that you guys have randomly joined us for a podcast, it's a beautiful connection of love. And that's what it is. And you see people that don't want rescues in shelters. People fight change no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. People fight change internally, externally, shelters, cities. the amount of drama in rescue and animal advocacy, it's horrible and it's sad. But what you focus on is, where your energy goes. What was that? What is that? I love that thing. Attention goes where your energy flows.
That's a new one.
Yeah, so I love that one. So it's just, I say it all the time. It's just what you put out comes back to you.
What was it?
Where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're focusing on the pain, if you're focusing on sadness, that's where you're putting your energy. And it's going to come back.
Did you think of that yourself, or you read that somewhere?
Absolutely did not think of that
Okay.
myself. Here's the thing, and this is why I say this on the How to Start a Rescue. I don't have original thoughts. I mean, think about there's 8 billion people in this world. You are truly unique. There is no other Miranda. There's no other Sheila. Sorry, there's no other side. I talk with my hands. I am part Italian. I'm going to sit on my hands. But what you have is unique to offer. And my hands are moving down here. So you have something unique and beautiful to offer, but we are all connected. And that's the whole thing. You hear something good and it inspires you, share it. Somebody out there might not have heard it. And if you have an idea, share it with us. That's why when you ride these waves of crying in the rain through us.
That's all I'm here for.
No, yes. No, because that was such a profound moment, because I thought anybody else would have walked away. Anybody else would have walked away with that overwhelming night of you had no one else that night. I remember going out there, I think it was 9 o'clock, to help you because I just saw you were alone. It was so late. And moments like that define you. And you just know if you're all in or not.
Even if you don't want them to define you, Miranda.
It was such a good, it was a really touching, inspiring moment that nobody else knew. But I remember that. Like, I remember that night and thinking, this is not okay. I can't leave one person out there at night ever alone. We become a family in a lot of different ways.
That's very true. I said that right before you got here. I'm her family.
You are.
Miranda, what is new in your world with Always and Forever?
Well, my most recent hat lately has been adoption event coordinating. I just kind of fell into it almost 2 years ago now, I think. No one was doing it, and so I started taking it on. And this summer, so we're working on reviving our email newsletter, and we were pulling stats for it, and I realized that last month in October, we did 11 adoption events. Which is, we usually do like 1 or 2 a month, but I have this really hard time of saying no, which is why I do everything I do for Always and Forever now anyways. But we get requests from all over the city. People want our dogs out there. They want our cats too. But they want us out there. They want us to be at their events. They want us to be at their businesses, and I have trouble saying no. And so in October, we did all sorts of Halloween events, craft fairs and costume things, and even just going to businesses that just want to collect donations for us and help we kind of help each other. I think a lot of times these adoption events, people reach out because they think their staff, or maybe just the person reaching out that works there, is interested in adopting, and so we kind of bring all our dogs out on parade for them. And then it's usually the staff that really get into the adoption events and seem to be the most interested. Like, we went to Legends Honda and Legends Toyota last weekend, I think, or 2 weekends ago, which everyone thought was crazy because there's much closer car dealerships, but they're the ones that asked us. They're the ones that wanted us there, so we went out there, and we split the dogs into the 2 locations, and I think the staff probably put in a couple applications that day because they were just loving all the puppies and all the dogs that we brought out. But that's about it. It's kind of slowing down now that winter's here. A lot of the places just have us out front on the sidewalk, and so it's a little harder to find places that are indoors, but we've got a couple things coming up with the holiday season. We're kind of shifting more towards fundraising because lots of people are doing donation drives for us, and we're trying to put out all sorts of different things that people can buy as gifts for other people, like for Christmas and the holidays. So we have like a holiday gift set where you can like symbolically adopt one of our dogs or cats, and you get a little stuffed animal and a certificate. We did that last year, and again, not an original idea. I stole that from like the World Wildlife, whatever the panda rescue is. So we're all in the animal community here with the same goal. And so we just piggyback off each other's ideas.
Has that started yet? Because last year I wanted to get my niece one, but they sold out too fast.
Yeah, Shelby actually took it over this year, and she's closing it like next week, I think. Yeah, get on it. We have all sorts of other things in the shop too. We have these really cute candles, some with TK on them, spices, keychains. It's really an assortment, dog bandanas. So check it out. It does close pretty early this year because we want to get the shipments out before Christmas, whereas I'm usually like shipping things the week of Christmas. So kudos to Shelby for being more on top of things than the rest of us. But yeah, get your shopping in now.
Going back, I had a few questions on the adoption. Typically, how many dogs do you take per event?
Well,
Is it just you by yourself?
no, I'm at the mercy of all our volunteers and fosters who are so amazing. I've got a good crew going that I can pretty much count on. Hannah, Cindy. Oh my God, I'm going to leave people out now. But Jackie. The people that are come out every weekend, like I just put one out right before driving over here, and I already saw Cindy signed up, and Annette, Jeff's foster mom, signed up. And so they're always willing to drop everything that they're doing on a Saturday or a Sunday and come out and spend 2-3 hours at some random business on the other side of town. And, sometimes the timing doesn't work out and it's just me, and I drag my husband along. We bring one dog. But the past few events, I feel like we've had like 6 to 8 to like even 10 dogs. And it's definitely a balancing act to find ones that all get along with each other and aren't going to try to eat each other or eat the people and the kids that come to meet them. And so we usually have one person with free hands that can kind of manage all that and pass out business cards, and if a volunteer needs to go to the bathroom, we're there to take over their animal. But that's on a good day, we get like 8 to 10.
So if I'm a business listening and want to host an adoption event, what is the best way to go about contacting you directly?
Most just go through our general email info at alwaysinforever.love, and Sue just sends it to me, and then I check our schedule and I make it work. I mean, it's very rare that we're double booked or, every weekend usually fills up. Again, it's a little slower in the winter. Yeah, things just always seem to fall perfectly into place and the schedule fills up and we get to experience all these different places. That was one thing when I first took on this role. I asked the team of volunteers, I said, would you guys rather go to one store like Petco every single week? Because, that's a busy place. People are there for pets. They obviously love animals. Or would you rather hop around somewhere different? And they're like, no, let's keep it interesting. Let's go somewhere different every week. And so we do. And, some places we don't get anybody. And there's no customers that happen to come in that day. Because, I posted out on our social media, but we're really relying on the businesses' traffic to bring people. And so some businesses just don't have that sort of traffic, but other places can be really busy. We did a couple at like Lowe's this summer in like the heat of like Memorial Day weekend, and it was very busy and we got lots of people. And it is interesting, like Legends Honda, we were on the other side of the city and no one knows us down there. And so, but then again, we can do the ones in Spring Hill too, and no one will encounter so many people that don't know us.
It's shocking how our little community around us doesn't really know us. And so that's something that we are trying to kind of get into, of like direct mailings and
Pizza boxes.
The pizza boxes. Yeah, we got to go to local pizza places. And
this morning that I saw it on Instagram, a shelter back in New York from where I live put the pictures of the pets on the pizza boxes.
Everything takes a lot of work. That's the whole thing. When you're ready to own a project, just like you guys own this podcast. And I think Miranda left a very important job that she has out. She is our fun coordinator, so we would not have any fun if it wasn't for Miranda. So I feel like that should have been first on the resume, but priorities are different for everyone. So Giving Tuesday is November 28th, so it's the Tuesday following Thanksgiving.
Oh, gotcha.
So Miranda, me, Megan, Beth, all of our staff are going to go live all day long, and we're kind of going to do a telethon kind of thing, and we're really going to focus on raising money for the Pound, for the new shelter that we're going to put there. So we're going to invite you in. We're going to do behind the scenes stuff. Last year they did it. It was a really awesome fun time. So it's going to be a day in the life of Always and Forever, and please take that Tuesday and get to know us. I say this all the time, and that's why I have started to put my face on Facebook more, because for those who just started following us, my face might be a little more familiar, but for the first 5 years, nobody knew what I looked like. And they would come to the rescue and they would be like, "Are you Jen?" And they'd be like, "No." And literally nobody knew who I was. And there was a reason behind that, because it's not one person that makes a rescue. It is truly everyone, every single person. I say org charts and titles are stupid. I really do think they are that. Do they serve a purpose? Absolutely. But everybody has equal importance, and none of this happens without all of us. Truly, that's really what this is. But when it comes to knowing and running a nonprofit, a rescue with a very specific mission, you absolutely have to know who your leadership team is, who your board is, how this is run, because the people behind it are truly, you can't assume that every rescue is good. I mean, that's the very sad part. But Giving Tuesday, guys, your donations are what fund this. We have no grants that federally fund this. You know, we are not that size. Everyone thinks go get grants. You have to be big time to get the federal grants. We have amazing donors who give everything they can. And if you can give this Tuesday, no matter what it is, not this Tuesday, this Giving Tuesday, November 28th. Thank you for that. We would more than anything love to have your support, because you're investing in the care and the love of all of God's animals.
I'm so proud of how much you've grown.
Me too.
No, I know.
Like just a friend appreciation moment.
Yes.
When I started last week, when you started that series of how to start your shelter, I remember back on our first podcast episode, and you're like, I tell people all the time how to start a shelter, but nobody listens. Blah,
I
blah,
know.
blah, blah. And now you're doing a whole series with your face and everything.
Jen, growth.
Just growth, change is life. If you're not willing to grow and change, then you will never be able to achieve great things. And I don't believe I've achieved great things alone. And that's the whole thing. I have a phenomenal community of support. Without you guys in 2017, I didn't talk to anyone in 2017. Nobody knew that. I literally,
We know.
Well, I think in 2016, I was in such deep grief, I did not speak. And you guys were the first true friends I invited into my world. And we weren't even that close. I just used you for your dogs.
Bailey and Lily's mom. You did not know my name.
I did not know your
For
name.
the first year, I was Bailey and Lily's mom. And that's when I knew, when you finally referred to me by my name one time, I'm like,
Yes.
I'm in.
So can we just say I don't know how to pronounce your last name still? So, and it took me a very
Can you
long
do
time.
size?
Gulupe?
You're close. Hey, I give you credit.
Napaloo.
Oh, okay, yeah,
The
no, I
G
never would
is
have gotten
pronounced
that.
N.
What?
Okay, let's just move on.
Okay. I feel
It's
proud of
sicko.
myself for knowing. I know it now.
Okay, Wichita.
Wichita. Well, the good news is we are finalizing our RFP, our request for proposal, for the city to hire a contractor to come in and take over the care of the animals. The rough news is animals are dying there every day. We are not allowed to tag animals or save their life due to a kind of a confidentiality, freedom of speech issue with Kansas Humane Society, where we can't say certain things on a Facebook post or social media that implies that it's a kill shelter or that it is the animal has a death sentence coming up. Ultimately, I think now 674 dogs have died this year. It's at around 9.4% of dogs that have been euthanized that have come in the door in 2023.
Is that 9.4% including the sick and behavioral dogs?
So, I mean, that's such a good question. We can't get, they've implied that it doesn't, but yet they won't put that in writing to attest that it doesn't. So the problem is there is no transparency, and that is what we have said nonstop. If if you think about the numbers that have come in, 10,000 animals coming in a year, 10,000 dogs. Casey Pret Project does a very good example of showing that you can be a great shelter run by a rescue, but still have the capacity problems of too many animals coming in. But you have to reach out and involve the community, and you cannot hide the truth, no matter how awful it is. People are going to turn their backs no matter what. People are going to judge. They're going to say whatever they want to on Facebook. Let them, but share the truth. Invite people to be part of the solution. Don't hide the problem.
Well, isn't it once it's above 10%, then they are labeled a kill shelter?
Correct.
So aren't they almost putting like a knife in their own back by not letting you tag
They
to
are.
save the dogs? Then they're going to get over the 10%.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the worst part. We are begging to get back in. If they just remove that language, because we have a staff member that would go in there every day and take videos and promote it, because so much of this is just promoting the animal to the public, to other rescues, because the animals that Kansas Humane Society does not want, no one is publicly promoting those animals.
But once it hits 10%, then technically with that verbiage, they are a kill shelter, so you could use it.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. So yeah, the worst part of that is that so many more have to die to get there, and then we can present that case. I did see someone tagged me on a post about, I think it was it might have been Indiana or Ohio or maybe California. So basically, I don't know the state, but there's a set of volunteers that are suing a shelter for a freedom of speech contract that is excluding them from sharing what's going on behind the scenes in that shelter. Now, I think that has to do with the condition of the shelter and the care, so a little bit different. That I haven't read the case, but I did find it interesting that this is not a unique battle to KHS in Wichita. This is a problem that shelters have across the country, where they're trying to silence rescuers from awareness, and that's really what this is. Without social media, without a voice, none of our dogs would be in our barn. We wouldn't even know where to begin. I wouldn't know. Would you know? I mean, how would you know? You don't see them. There's not a video of them every day on the news. Here's all the dogs that are going to die tonight. Who would want to see that? Literally no one.
I mean, the people who watch the news, because
The news is so depressing.
they would probably be, yes.
But that's reality, and you have to educate people that without rescues, without all of us, it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter if you own your own rescue, if you have a shelter, you can be a part of making a difference in just by sharing a Facebook post.
Do we have any questions yet on our live feed?
No.
Oh,
Okay, can we talk about something exciting?
sure.
Okay.
Thank
so-
you for the that's right. Thank you for the update on Wichita.
Okay, yeah, I was very sad. We're going positive
And we're
now.
back.
Okay.
Buckle up.
So we
You guys
are
need to speak louder.
Oh, okay.
we are working on a new book of TK. TK is going to have his own little children's book series. So please watch out for that. It's really exciting. It's going to be his adventures with Michaela. So, and the very first book is going to be how he came into our care and his very special bond with Michaela. So it is geared towards younger kids, and what it's going to do is going to help kids be educated with respect to reactive dogs, with muzzles, with not touching dogs that you don't know, and respecting body language. And it's all about the relationship with Michaela and TK, even though he has so many more friends now. But that's exciting, and that's going to come out hopefully before the end of the year, but if not, early January.
Sorry, someone is asking if we're doing paw prints this year. Miranda?
Yeah, they are on the holiday shop. I dropped the link in this live. I dropped the link in the live a few different times. But yeah, we're going to do paw print paintings. Beth, our amazing cat coordinator, has volunteered to do some cat paw print paintings also. So we're going to have dog and cat ones. And we'll try to do some on our Giving Tuesday telethon live video too. But yeah, you can buy them in the shop. And again, the shop is closing soon, so.
Don't we want the store to be open longer? I feel like we're going to
That's
extend
Shelby.
it. We're going to extend it. Shelby, we need to extend the store because our podcast won't be out until next week. So we have to extend the store.
It'll be out by this
Okay.
weekend.
If you go to our Facebook events, it's listed under there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, before we go there, I have a funny story to share because I got to the fundraisers, and it's everybody's birthdays fundraisers. So if you don't know, obviously if you're on Facebook, you know, how a week before your birthday, it's like, do you want to do a fundraiser? So it was before bed and it popped up and I was like, of course, Always and Forever. So I select that. And the next day, my dad calls me, like the following morning, or I called him, either way. And he finally is on Facebook and has a smartphone and is learning how to use it. And says, what is this fundraiser you've got going on here? And I'm like, well, it's for the shelter, Always and Forever. And he's like, well, it has $0. What is going on with this? Why has no one donated to you yet? Do you not have any friends? And goes on this whole rant. He's like, I can't have you having $0 in this thing. So either way, long story short, he's like, I'm going to mail you a check. He's like, I cannot have you having that at $0. And in my head, I'm like, well, Dad, that's still not going to reflect on my fundraiser. But yes, I will take your donation. So I am getting a donation via mail and a check from my dad that will be on that. But it was just so funny. Literally the next day, he's like, $0 raised? What is this? And I'm like, I'm on it, Dad. So anyways, my birthday fundraiser, it's coming. But anyways.
Sheila's birthday fundraiser, please. I will donate to your birthday fundraiser.
It closed.
Oh,
I
dang it.
think it was like 100.
All right.
It was fine.
Yeah.
But it'll be more, just not reflected on there.
Yeah.
I would like everyone to know that I didn't talk this whole time. I feel very proud of myself. Are you proud of yourself?
Who is Kendra Scott?
Oh, I thought it was a dog mom.
Do you not know? She has a store in the plaza. And I only know this because my teenage daughter, she got a necklace from that store.
Look at all my jewelry. With my
Scott.
silicone Apple Watch band.
So Kendra Scott is a jewelry store like Tiffany's.
Oh.
Yes.
Super nice.
If I'm not mistaken.
Nice. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they love to invite us out, and this is our second or third time going there. We're going to be there the weekend after Black Friday, so don't fall for their Black Friday sales. Wait until Sunday, and then your purchase, we get 20% donated back to Always and Forever. So we're going to bring dogs to the store on Sunday, but Sunday and Monday, we'll have a promo code that I'll post on our Facebook, and then we get donations back. And it's always a very successful adoption event fundraiser.
So we need to tell people before Black Friday to stop shopping there and go on Sunday. So
And I also need to laugh at this one. The Double Good Popcorn fundraiser and Jen's post about this fundraiser. Will you go into detail? I need to know, how long did it take you to eat all the popcorn?
well, number one, I always, if I do a fundraiser, I always donate to it because once again, I'm not going to ask somebody to donate if I'm not going to donate. So I bought $300 worth of popcorn last year. I bought every kind they had, and I ate it all myself. I didn't share it with anyone. But I will say, don't buy any but the chow, whatever, because I'm from Chicago, and it was delicious. And now I feel as though I controlled myself because I only spent $180, but I didn't click anonymous on my name so everybody knew what I purchased. But I have no intention of sharing that with anyone this year as well. It's so sad though, because if you start with one that I think I started with that one pretty early and then it all went downhill. So you got to make sure if you get multiple flavors, make sure you test them and save the best for last, and then give the ones you don't like to other people. That's the strategy. If anybody was strategizing giving for popcorn.
Well, I'm reading it right now, and it says, please note, this is a very short-term sale. Is it already done?
It's done, so you've wasted your time on this pop-up. But we raised, I think, $2,500, something like that, because 50% of all of the proceeds go to us. So huge thank you to everyone that participated.
The popcorn we can't reopen.
Not yet. Nope. Shelby.
This is why you're here, Miranda. To reel us in, because we just sit here and pop off ideas that was not supposed to be a pun, but we just sit here and we're like, yeah, we can do that, we can do that.
I feel like we can. Anything is possible.
Miranda says no. Jen, what else on all of your topics? Because we are at 42 minutes, and we typically like to keep these.
Yeah, I mean,
under
I think we'll wrap
an
up
hour.
with yes.
No one
we
wants
should
to
reel
listen
it
to
in.
that.
We just wrap up with year-end giving. Truthfully, that is what helps fund our rescue for sustainable the next year. So important. And what I would say is give to an organization that you trust and people that you know that the mission is true and where your money is going, because it's your hard-earned money. And I would never ask someone to give to. I would never ask someone to give to something that I personally didn't believe in, and give just as much as everything I have. And if I know I'm a broken record, but the people behind this is the investment that you're making that are making this world a better place, because all of God's animals are wonderful. Like, the love that they have is incredible. But to have the people that recognize that, and to build a community that just fosters kindness and caring and a belief that we can make this world a better place, even if we don't know what the heck we're doing and we figure it out with the ups and downs along the way. Just thank you for believing in us on this journey of faith and trial and error and failure and growth and becoming comfortable in the uncomfortable, because let me tell you, the uncomfortable is scary. You know, having people in shelter environments with hostile interactions, that's tough. You know, you learn what's important in life, and what's important and what you can control is you. So approaching every single day with joy.
Sorry, that was a perfect transition to my thought that I was going to talk about next, about control. So when you were talking about giving this season, I know a lot of people spend money on materialistic things. And something I was recently listening to was about saving money and stuff. And I'm going to challenge people this holiday season, with all the sales coming up. If it wasn't on sale, would you still buy that item? Because if not, you don't need it. You just want it. And then the second part of that challenge is that money that you would spend on something that you don't need, donate it instead. Like, you don't need that item. You just want it because that's on sale.
Right
Yes,
there.
girl math. We're bringing in the girl math.
Let's bring in the girl math.
So you
Every
don't-
dollar you save on Black
Yes.
Friday, donate to a rescue, preferably us, but
Perfect.
Jen doesn't know what girl math is.
Do you know what girl math is?
No.
So it's like when I buy a concert ticket in January for a show that's in November, technically I didn't buy that ticket because I forgot how much it was by the time I went to it.
Who made that up?
girls.
Doesn't make any. That sounds.
No, you need to give a better example.
Okay, so if I want to go to a concert and it's cheaper, the ticket in Europe, so say Taylor Swift, it's cheaper.
knew that had to come up
Yeah,
tonight. Somebody had to bring up
So
Taylor Swift.
This isn't an actual fact, but say it's cheaper, her ticket is to go see her in Europe compared to buying it in LA.
Okay.
So then I could be like, well, it's going to save me money by going over there, and then I get a trip out of Europe for going over there to save the same price
So
as going
it's
here.
flawed logic that we are
Yes.
calling girl math. I feel like that's not very empowering,
But
ladies.
go on tonight and look up dog math, because those videos are super funny.
Okay, I will. I will do that.
Yes.
Um,
look up. We haven't done dog math videos yet.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, look up dog math videos.
Okay, Miranda's on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, donate this holiday season instead of buying monetary things that you don't need just because they're on sale. Moral of my story.
The only thing that I'll add to that is, honestly, if you know us, if you know what we do, if you've seen the stories of Hojo and the belief in miracles, your giving is an investment in saving lives. Not only saving animal lives, but changing human lives. I would not be here today without Always and Forever. I wouldn't. This has saved me in so many ways that I found life and joy again. And so I'm humbled and always grateful for the chaos and the poop and the urine and the non-stop ups and downs of just the journey and the people, the Mirandas and you guys that have been here from the beginning and from today, because that's what we are. We're bonded by love, and we are a family no matter what.
I love you too, Jen.
It's hard to say it, but I do. So.
I'm going to make you say it. I love you too, Jen. Miranda, we finish every episode with our cover dog.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, I would like to get Benny
Food.
adopted. Can you get Benny adopted? He pees everywhere.
I think Benny was.
Well, one, that's not Opening statement. He pees everywhere.
He
Adopt
does. He
Benny.
pees everywhere. Someone adopt Benny. I'm tired of cleaning his pee.
Is he with you guys now?
Yeah, he is.
He's been with us for.
He graduated.
Yeah, I don't know. Step down. So much urine.
Stop, Jen.
So much urine every morning.
Has he been health-wise? Is it behavioral?
We're checking it. It's all behavioral. But we just put Christmas trees up and he peed on the Christmas tree. Miranda would like
Miranda
to
has-
The question was for Miranda.
Miranda has
I have our dog, and it's one that we already mentioned in this podcast. I think this podcast should be dedicated to Jeff because he is one of the best fosters that comes to every adoption event. He loves all other dogs. He loves all people. He is the funniest little senior pitty, and I don't know why he hasn't been adopted. So,
good pitch on Jeff, Miranda.
Best ears. They flop over. But I will say he was so loud in the barn. So loud. So loud. Oh my God. They yell at me at 5 a.m. every day. So I come in there and everybody's yelling at me to feed me.
I'm sorry, but all these photos of Jeff, he
Jeff
is
is
smiling
adorable.
so big.
Yeah,
he's going to be
he's
the
adorable.
best cover dog.
He loves kids too, right? Yeah. He's a great dog. So.
Okay, everyone on
Good
Facebook,
fun.
go look at Jeff right now.
Shout out to Jeff.
Okay. I can do Benny on there too if you want.
And just put a sprinkle of urine around. You got to be honest. I mean, he's a lot.
He's so
Transparency is key for
But
Jen.
here's the thing, though, with Benny. When Benny was at Little Gray Bar, yes, he peed a lot, but he's so loving.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites.
He loves his cuddles.
Yes.
And he's such a good dog.
And he's
Would
such
you
a walker.
like to adopt him?
No, because I'm taking Tobin.
See that?
You are taking
yes,
Tobin?
I
she's
am taking Tobin.
Yes.
I'm picking up tonight after I leave here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I drop off one dog and I go pick up another.
And so Tobin's been with us almost 2 years now too, and so he is unfortunately hospice now. He has degenerative spine and knees arthritis to where it's the point where you'd never know it. He's such a stoic, beautiful pitty, and he lives in pain. So we're starting acupuncture. We're starting these new shots that help with that. So we're doing whatever homeopathic and alternative medicine we can do because we can't cure the problem, but we're going to give him the best life possible. And giving him a week in your home is just so beautiful. And these little things are everything to an animal. So thank you for that.
Do you want to wrap us up?
Miranda, Jen, you guys are huge with Always and Forever. I want to thank you guys for living in your purpose, living confidence and boldness. Thank you guys for all that you guys do and continue to do. And as always, it's never too late for a happily ever after.